Joining me now is Dov Hikind. He actually happens to be in Israel tonight. I called him to say, hey, come on my broadcast. And he called me back, and he's in Israel. So he joins us by phone tonight. Dov, welcome back to the broadcast. Thank you for being with us.
It's my pleasure to be with you, and I'm in beautiful, magnificent Jerusalem. It's always special to be here, in spite of the challenges, the difficulties. The terrorist act last week in Ramot happened about a minute and a half away from the house that we are at, and paid condolence calls. One mother who's pregnant, 3 kids, it's part of, and by the way, it's the bus that we were on today, the 62. We take it, and, guy got on the bus and started shooting people in the face because they were Jews. It had nothing to do with them being Zionists or anything else. But anyway, it's just always amazing to be here.
Well, thank you for taking time out this evening to talk with us. I know it's getting late there, or early, I should say, there in the morning. I want to talk about what I mentioned with my reporter on the ground in Israel today on radio and television at 1 o'clock Central, 2 Eastern, and that is Charlie Kirk. The number of people now in the America First movement, some of them that I know, that I've interviewed regularly, they're all now implying that Israel killed Charlie Kirk because Charlie was asking questions. He was concerned about things like AIPAC. And Marjorie Taylor Greene today, she put out a text. It was on tweet. It was a text given to her. I'm going to put it in so I can show it. Marjorie Taylor Greene. And what she was being asked by Charlie is, hey, at my next conference, will you come and talk about AIPAC? Would you be willing to do that? And so people are saying he was asking too many questions about AIPAC. He was, asking questions about is Benjamin Netanyahu getting America dragged into a war with the Middle East and then Iran. Wait a minute. I ask those kind of questions on my program, and I'm a strong evangelical Christian Zionist. That doesn't make you anti-Semite. That doesn't make you someone that is less loyal to the Jewish state to question what the government is doing, any more than questioning what my federal government does makes me any less proud American or patriotic. So I asked my reporter today in Israel, does your country go around arresting people, killing people, harassing people that challenge your own government? Do you have people in your Knesset that criticize the government of Israel when it comes to, Benjamin Netanyahu working with America to strike Iran? Do you have Arabs in your Knesset, Arabs on your Supreme Court? Do you have very prominent Arab Israelis that criticize the government at times? Or do you guys go around killing all those people that disagree with you? And the point I'm trying to make is, I don't think the Israeli government has such a thin skin that they can't handle people that are traditionally pro-Zionist asking some policy questions. That doesn't automatically mean the government of Israel is out to assassinate you. Would you agree, Dov?
I got to tell you, it's some kind of disease circulating among some people who have an ulterior motive and agenda. It is so preposterous. It is so ridiculous. It's almost strange to talk about it, to be honest. But look, there are people who there are people who say the Holocaust never happened, or not quite the way it's presented, right? Go tell that to my mother, who was in Auschwitz in 1944 and went there with her mother and all of her family members, and they went straight to the gas chamber. Well, maybe nothing happened to them. Maybe they're still around. We just don't know about it. I mean, but you have people writing books saying the Holocaust never happened. Look, Israel is such an incredible democracy. As you pointed out, I mean, there are rallies every week on the weekend by tens of thousands of Israelis who are critical of the government. They want a deal. They want the fighting to end. They want the hostages back. As you pointed out, members of the Knesset of the government, Jews and non-Jews. Hey, it's part of this beautiful democracy here. I mean, all I have seen is admiration. The terrible tragedy that happened in America with Charlie Kirk. I mean, God, the chief rabbi of Israel, leaders of Israel, so many. I mean, the pain. I was in Israel when he was shot, and I can tell you that I was at the Western Wall while he was still alive, and I, did a video to let people know, please pray, and I prayed personally at the wall, Charlie Kirk, because to me he was a great, great hero. They don't make Charlie Kirks. He was in a class all by himself on every single level. And, people who care about Israel, who truly care about Israel, not those who have an agenda, if they think that Israel is doing something that is not good, they should speak up. They should. By the way, I don't think, the media in Israel is very similar to the media in America. They are radical left. It's hard to find much media in Israel that is on the right. They don't have a Fox television here in Israel. I mean, you can watch Fox there, but there's no Fox in terms of Israel, reporters. It's very, very, very left and always critical of the government of Israel, of Bibi Netanyahu. So, this new phenomenon.
So wait a minute. Your own media personalities over there, and Charlie Kirk was a media personality. Your own media personalities over there are very critical of your prime minister and his government. But you're telling me you don't have Jewish snipers going around taking them out in your country?
Right. Yeah. By the way, all the media, there's not a day. I follow all the Israeli media every day to see what's going on. Almost without exception, there's one newspaper called Israel Hayom, Israel Today. All the others, Haaretz, the Times of Israel, Yediot Achronot, all the major TV stations. I mean, if you think that some media in America are critical of Trump on a regular basis and are unfair to Donald Trump, you haven't seen anything. You got to come down to Israel to see what it's like, where you have the leftist media at the neck of Bibi Netanyahu every single day. I do not exaggerate. So the idea, because someone has a different point of view. By the way, Ilhan Omar in America and some of the other radicals in the Democratic Party, they're doing quite well for what I understand. The idea that the Israeli government would hurt anyone in any fashion is really, it's difficult for me even to deal with that because it is so preposterous. But look, blaming Jews for all kinds of things is not something that is new for this period of time. You can go back throughout history. Jews are responsible for everything. Anything goes wrong, you're having difficulty getting a job, just blame Jews. The Jews control the banks, the Jews control the media. Hey, if we control the media so much in America, most of the media in America is so freaking critical of Israel. I watch CNN. My God, they're almost as radical as Al Jazeera in the way they present things in Israel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanna switch to AIPAC. I just mentioned that video. By the way, here is a big building with a big screen on it in Tel Aviv. Someone took a picture of this in Tel Aviv. The great Charlie Kirk, R.I.P. Rest in peace. Okay, and that was in Tel Aviv. So I'm sure you have people in Tel Aviv, obviously, that love Charlie Kirk, that love Donald Trump. I'm sure you have people in Tel Aviv that hated Charlie Kirk, that hate Donald Trump. I mean, you guys are just like America in that you have conservatives, you have liberals, you have Marxists, you have New Agers, you run the gamut, just like America. And I don't think some of these people that talk the way they are fully understand that. Now, I mentioned that Marjorie Taylor Greene today put out a screenshot of a text she received from Charlie and on August 27th. You should speak at AmFest. Would you want to also do a debate about AIPAC? Not with me, no pressure. We'll do whatever you want. Okay, now, I know that there are those going around talking about this group, AIPAC, and that AIPAC somehow, there's hardly any members of Congress that AIPAC isn't giving them money. I went and looked up. I actually asked Grok. Tell me about AIPAC. Well, Grok says it's a nonprofit organization. So its annual revenue primarily comes from donations, membership dues, and event-related contributions rather than sales in a traditional sense. Based on its most recent publicly available IRS 990 form, AIPAC's total revenue for the fiscal year ending September 2023 was $79.4 million. Okay? All right, well, that's a lot of money. But for $79 million, you're not going to control every member of Congress, the media, and every one you can at the state legislature level. I mean, these people are making this group out to be way bigger, way more wealthy, way more powerful than they really are. But boy, AIPAC has become, I put in for a media request for one of their representatives. So hopefully they'll come on. But man, AIPAC really, they really get the brunt of it. What do you know about AIPAC?
Yeah. Well, I know AIPAC is an organization like so many organizations, groups that lobby Washington, that lobby members of Congress on a regular basis. I'm sure you've heard of the NRA. If you could only look up the numbers of how much money they raise and they spend to sell their agenda regarding people's rights to have a weapon, right? Does anybody complain about? By the way, yeah, people do complain about that. But there's nothing wrong. That's what America's all about.
178 million. 178 million compared to 79 million by AIPAC. So you're talking about almost exactly $100 million more.
Yeah, exactly. And many other organizations. I mean, listen, this is part of America. You have an opportunity to be part of an organization, nonprofit organization, that lobbies, that educates, and then they have an arm that supports candidates. I mean, my God, listen, I was in public office for 36 years. People who hated me did not support me. People who didn't like the things I said or the things that I done or the things I believed in, I never got one penny from any of them.
So did AIPAC, does AIPAC, I mean, not that it's a problem they did, but did AIPAC give you a bunch of money as an elected official and then tell you how to vote and what to do?
Can I tell you? No, I never got a penny from AIPAC, never needed a penny from AIPAC. And they're more involved on a national level in terms of educating the American people on many, many different levels and supporting candidates just like God knows. I don't know how many organizations there are, but we are talking about hundreds of groups in America that raise money, support candidates, educate the American public, hold conferences, hold meetings, and do everything they can in a proper way to get people to support the things that they are advocating. It is part of what America is all about. And to create the boogeyman, again, it's the Jews, it's the Jewish power. Sounds familiar, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. I just want to point out something, and I'm sure I've said it on your show before. The number of Jews there are in the world, not in America, in the world, total, every part of the world today is 15 million. And among those 15 million are many who support Mamdani, the guy running for mayor in New York, who's an enemy of the Jewish people. In the recent primary, he got 22% of Jews who voted for him. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? Look, America is a country. We respect other people's point of view. We don't have to agree. We can discuss. We can argue. But to make AIPAC into this boogeyman, this powerful monster that is lurking out there and controls people and how they vote, is just so un-American and so pathetic. And those who indulge in that, making statements that have absolutely nothing. I mean, you look, I can say anything I want to about anybody. The next question you would ask me, if you even would give me the opportunity, you would say, do you have proof? Can you share with us the information? That would be the first question you would ask.
Yeah, where's the proof that the Israeli government's the one that assassinated Charlie Kirk? We hear all this, but I haven't seen, as you say, one piece of evidence.
You will never see it because it is so preposterous and so outrageous. And anyone who can indulge and say things like that, and they know that it is. They don't have any proof, for God's sake. I mean, it's a lie. It just isn't true.
And yet the Jews right now make up 0.2% of the world's population. 0.2%. But you guys, boy, you are really amazing because you guys run the world. Didn't you know that? Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine what would happen if you guys became 10% of the population. That would be really dangerous, now, wouldn't it, Dov?
Listen, if you walk over to people, and I've done this many times, walk over to people in America, in different cities and places. How many Jews do you think there are in the world? Ask people that question. Try that. They'll tell you, about 100 million, 150 million, 50 million, 70, 200 million. It's 15 million. And you know something, that way back when my mother went to Auschwitz, during that period of time, you know how many Jews there were in 1936 in the world?
I'm going to guess.
Million.
How many?
15 million.
Wow. So you guys have you're just now getting back to the number you were at before the Holocaust.
Listen, we're very powerful. We can, listen, can we not tell anybody? We control the banks. We control the media. We control, not America, we control the world. Isn't that what the elders of Zion, that document, that false document that has been used throughout the world for the last 100 years or more, the Jews get together and they plan and plot. It's so preposterous and so ridiculous. And listen, it's part of this purely anti-Semitism.
Yes, of
pure
course.
Hate. Just blame the Jews.
But you know what I don't...
difficulty in life, it's the Jews.
But you know what's, I guess, so convenient, is that very few people want to talk about, other than us conservatives, how much money the CCP, the Communist Chinese Party, is pumping into America. How about how much money Qatar? Here's a brand new article I put up at Worldview Report today from yesterday. Former Mossad official, Qatar is purchasing the West on behalf of Islam. Abdid Alam, a former head of the counterterrorism division in the Mossad, says Qatar presents itself as a global mediator while funding terror and buying influence through real estate, companies, sports clubs, and even politicians, all to cement its international power. So here we have the Arab world, the Islamic world. Wow, I'm going to look up while you talked off. What is the population of Muslims in the world? Jews, we know, is 0.2%. But let's look at how many Muslims are in the world. And here we have Qatar, one country alone. They are funding terrorism. They're buying influence in the West. You know, here's what I say. Here's what I say, Dov. If Qatar or any of these countries wanted to create a real problem for Israel, you know what they might do? Kill some very prominent people and blame it on the Jews. That would be,
of course.
There you go, right? Right?
Absolutely. Listen, Qatar, if you want to talk about influence, the population of Qatar, I'm just trying to remember, I believe it's 1 million or so. It's a very small population of actual citizens of Qatar. They spend billions of dollars. If the American people, if your listeners are wondering why the radicalization of Ivy League universities in this country that hate America, that hate the Republican Party, that hate Donald Trump, where did that come from? How did that happen? Well, start examining all these universities. We are talking about we can get you the numbers. It's all there. It's public. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars a year being distributed to these universities. Now, do you think Qatar is doing it because they just love America? Or do you think, the universities have to give something in return in terms of some of the professors at the universities, some of the programs at the universities? I mean, billions of dollars each year by Qatar. Why are they spending all this money in America? For what purpose? And we know what their purpose is. It's to radicalize America. Period. Simple.
Look at this. World Population Review. World Population Review, folks. So you see it, all right? Muslim population by country, they break it down. Now, before I tell you this, remember, there are only 15 million Jews in the world. Actually, 14.8 million. They haven't even hit 15 million. They're just about to hit 15 million. They're under it. 15 million. How many Muslims are there in the world? How many? You guys don't know the answer? How many Muslims?
Well, I know it's...
2 billion. 2 billion. 2 billion.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Now, the point I'm making is, not all those Muslims are, Jew-hating, Holocaust-denying, Hitler-defending, jihadi-preaching Muslims. Some of them are like my friend Shahram Hadian, whose daddy said, I don't want to live under Sharia, and got out of Iran 6 weeks before the fall of the Shah, and he was a pork-eating, beer-drinking Muslim. So he wasn't serious. Right? So, but let's just go. But we don't give that same generosity to the Jews. No. We don't see that same generosity. Well, there are 15 million of them, and but no, all of them are X, Y, and Z. No. There are liberal Jews, conservative Jews, as we've already said. And we're going to do that same thing with the Muslims. Some of them, I'm Muslim by birth, but they don't practice. They don't know squat about the Quran. They don't care. But there are 2 billion of them, all right? 2 billion. Now, let's figure out which percentage of that 2 billion actually hates the Jewish people, hate America, and want to bring down the great Satan and Israel that they see after us, the great Satan. Why are we not having that conversation? Why don't we talk about the Muslims that run the world?
Absolutely.
What percentage of the Muslims have owned stock in Fox News, right? I mean, we can go on down the line. And we already done it just with Qatar. But somehow the Jews keep popping up. I have to start wondering how much money is being pumped into America, the universities, the media, by the enemies of America and Israel to go after the Jews and the Zionists.
Yeah, no question. And those, by the way, polls have been done in many, many countries like Egypt and Jordan, Syria, on and on and on. And I can tell you that in all of those polls that I've seen over the years, they hate America. They hate Israel, the big Satan, the small Satan. They hate America. And, again, Qatar is only one example of the influence by enemies of America. I mean, I don't know, honestly, I don't know how they have gotten away with this all of these years. They harbor the leaders of Hamas. All of these years, they live in hotels in Qatar. They have a great life. They eat well, they live well, et cetera, et cetera. And other terrorist organizations are harbored by Qatar. How the hell did they get away with this? How come no one has made an issue of this? I imagine that billions of dollars a year does influence people.
Yeah. Well, how much money does CARE bring in? How much money does Council on Islamic Relations bring in a year, right? And then we could just keep on going down the line of all these groups and how much money they bring in. But somehow it's the 0.2% under 15 million Jews that rule the world. And if you dare question them, even if you're a evangelical Christian Zionist like myself or Charlie Kirk was, if you question them, and we have, we said, hey, Benjamin, we're all for you having your Jewish state. We'll defend your right to the state. Absolutely. We will fight those coming after your people. We will defend our Jewish friends in America. But look, while we are pro-State of Israel, we don't want boots on the ground. We don't want our sons and daughters over on the ground over there. We don't want to get dragged into a Middle Eastern war. Let's try to negotiate our way out of this. That doesn't make us anti-Israel. That doesn't make us worthy of being taken out by the Israeli government. What it makes us is people that don't want to see American or Jewish children. We call them our children as you get older. They're all your they're your children. I mean, Logan's 22, but he's still my child. I mean, that just means we want to see as few good Americans and Jewish young people die in war as possible. I don't think the Israeli government is threatened by that. I think you guys have pretty thick skin, particularly what you guys have been through for over 2,000 years.
Absolutely. Listen, if you can get me the phone number of the Jews who control the world, the people who control everything, if you can get me their phone number, maybe they could help me out with the out-of-control anti-Semitism in Canada, the out-of-control anti-Semitism in France, England, Belgium, and we can go on and on. Maybe some of my fellow Jews who control the world, we control the world. Why are we not dealing these people who control the world, these Jews with all this power? How come we're not more successful in dealing with the hatred against the Jewish people that we haven't seen since the Holocaust, actually?
That's right.
Since the Holocaust. We haven't seen anything like this. I just want to tell you one thing as a very, very proud American, and I'm returning to the United States tomorrow. Can't wait to get back. Also, I'm a very proud Jew. And, it's tough to see some of the horrible things being said and done, the hatred on the part of whether it's some Americans on the right, the left, it doesn't really matter. But I got to tell you, it's part of history. You study your history. Hey, it's okay. We know this is what happened. The good news for the Jewish people, as you know, we're not going anywhere. There was a Holocaust. There were pogroms. They murdered Jews. They kicked Jews out of Spain, out of Portugal, out of France, out of England. You name it. You name the place in the world. They killed 6 million Jews. They're trying to destroy the state of Israel and kill another 7 million Jews. No question about it. That's the goal. Kill, murder every single Jew. I got to tell you, okay, to win in the end with God's help. God runs the world, period.
Amen to that. Dov, just for the record, some of the skeptics and critics might be asking, I wonder how much AIPAC paid Brandon House to do this segment tonight. You know how much, folks? Zero. You know how much money AIPAC...
You got the same as me.
Yeah. And you know how much money they've given me in total? Zero. Okay. So now if they want to make a contribution to my foundation, I'm more than happy to take it. And I'm more than happy to tell people, yeah, they gave me money and here's how much they gave me. But it doesn't change what I say. In fact, I don't know what they could convince me to say differently than I already do from my perspective. Right. But just so the record's clear, I don't know that I've ever talked to anybody from AIPAC. I mean, I guess it's possible I talked to somebody at a conference or event and they come up to me or something and I didn't know. But I called AIPAC today, left them a message. I filled out their media form. I want to get some of their people on and talk to them. But I don't know them, and they've never contributed to me because my convictions come from my Christian biblical world view and from history, Dov.
Right. Well, I'm sure they'll get back to you. They should, and they will, and you can talk to them. But there aren't any secrets. Everything is public. We live in America, and organizations in America, whether it's the NRA or AIPAC or hundreds and hundreds of other special interest groups, we call them. Okay, that's what we call them. On the left, on the right, lobbyists. It's okay. Everyone has to declare exactly. You do tax returns. You declare how much you are spending, where the money is going, who's getting the money. There are no nefarious secret, plots being orchestrated by anybody.
Yep. Dov, you want to give your website?
Yeah, AmericansAA.org, AmericansAA.org. And it is always a pleasure and an honor to be with you.
You too, my friend, checking in tonight from Jerusalem. Safe travels back here to the U.S., Dov.
Thank you so much.
And greet your lovely wife for me, who's with you.
Shani, she's super. I'm lucky. We're gonna be celebrating our 50th anniversary in a couple of weeks. 50 years married to the same woman, and I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
Well, tell her hello and congratulations on behalf of myself and all of our team and listeners. And love having you on. Travel safe. Look forward to having you back on again real soon.
Thank you so much. Thank
Dov,
you. Talk to you soon.
You too. Dov,
Bye-bye.
checking in tonight, folks. And again, we're so glad to have folks like him that are available to come on. Dov Hikind checking in tonight on a very important topic. We'll be right back after this very short break.
True beauty isn't applied. It's nourished from within. Bella Grace Elixir, a luxurious, scientifically crafted blend designed to restore radiance, vitality, and strength at a cellular level. At the heart of Bella Grace Elixir lies cat's claw, a powerful herb from the Amazon known for its ability to control inflammation and protect collagen. With Verisaw collagen peptides, it goes beyond the surface, stimulating your body's natural collagen production to reduce fine lines, improve skin elasticity, and promote real, visible change. Bella Grace Elixir doesn't stop at collagen. It includes astaxanthin, one of nature's most powerful antioxidants. 6,000 times stronger than vitamin C, astaxanthin protects your skin from harmful UV rays and environmental stress, while locking in hydration and promoting a radiant, youthful glow. Experience the power of nature with Bella Grace Elixir at melissahousebg.com. Discover the science behind Bella Grace Elixir at melissahousebg.com. Read powerful testimonials from doctors and real customers who've experienced life-changing results, and explore other wellness products from Bella Grace. Bella Grace Elixir is more than just a product. It's a solution. Visit melissahousebg.com today.